What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. It's 7% bonus bucks back today on everything site-wide on TCGPlayer. That's not just singles for Magic, Pokemon, and of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! That's sleeves, that's sealed product. It is anything you can buy on the site at all. And you better be using that link in the description down below, supporting me directly, costing you nothing extra besides the cards you'd already be buying while you're saving your money on these. Now, the number one thing people have been asking me about, which is hecking concerning to me, is if they should get Mystic Fighters boxes sealed versus the singles. Guys, pre-sales, it's a little bit early. Tier 0 has yet to put theirs up, and they eventually will. They've been pricing out the set. They've even told me it's kind of awkward to price out the set, but I wouldn't freak out. Every single side set, for the most part, ends up evening out, going down. While the math mechs may actually have some underlying hype to them, I feel like a lot of you guys are just really excited to get your Dragon Maids. Calm down. Chill out. There's other things to get. Now, you guys last time did go for the Dark Neostorm special editions that I told you to go for, and some of you all had insane luck. Signet mining is overprinted in the set, and some of you guys even told me you pulled as many as 5 per special edition, which is crazy, and that's why you might see a little bit of a price coolant because there was actual product openings. Then Gearsu being shorted is the second most expensive card in this set, and very understandably so with how much Orkest is being played. And then we see Avermax cooling off a little as well, also an overprinted secret, with no material slowly starting to heat back up towards 20 for its unlimited copies. We'd seen this a little bit cheaper. So when we're talking about sealed and what to get on this sale, I wouldn't be doing a pre-order set. We see Prank Kids even won a YCS, yet that set is worth pretty much nothing now. Go for the long term. Don't just get into the hype about these. If you really are that interested in how they work and how they play, go for the singles. Don't go for Mystic Fighter sealed, guys. Blackluster Soldier of Chaos has a couple of foreign copies entering the market, which is the cheapest anywhere. We look over eBay and they're almost towards 70. So it's kind of funny because I've been waiting for Evil Heroes to have the international market kind of play its role, but instead we see it on a card like Blackluster Soldier where somebody's willing to take $5 less than most other places and say, hey, give me money, I'm bringing cards on over. So that might be something you could be interested in during the sale. I personally have been waiting to get my copy, and I'm kind of eyeing this one. Next up, we have Vanity's Ruler. This is just a quick note that it's going up in price again. Simo featured a unique stun deck that was doing something with Vanity's Ruler recently. It's more of Mausoleum of the Emperor brought into the modern age rather than something new, in my opinion. But we see that it is getting a bit of hype. Over on eBay, there are brand new, it's, you know, not using the term near mint, but condition new, so it should be mint, $9 copies, and there's just one last one, actually, before it too similarly rises towards the $14 mark. I think maybe I'm biased because I ran over this with Grin Maju a couple times, that the fact that there's impermanences still in everybody's deck, that there's outs to this, yeah, you gotta quote-unquote draw it and they have to not have the answer. It's still not that great of a deck, but I understand the hype around this card. Being able to special summon yourself while your opponents are shut off, and also the fact that this was bought out beforehand because of Necros, made the quantities on market disperse, and we get that second round of buyouts that's all important, where even the sellers that were holding on lost their copies. So it's just truly a hard card to find at this point, and that's why its price is likely to stick up for a while. Now, if we're talking about penny stocks, there's some things that I've noticed that have been moving. People constantly are asking me, John, what are things $5 and less that I should be getting, that I should be going for? Recently, Traptrix Sarah did go up, and we see it already falling down a little. 2 listers at $4 before it's back towards 5, which is where it rose back up to. But I still think Traptrix are highly underestimated, and we see on eBay you can get some cheaper copies from Canada. The foreign listings tend to go last, so you can take some time waiting to get your copies in. But if we're talking something that goes hand in hand with Traptrix, Artifact Scythe is one of the ultimate penny stocks. We have the link announced from Link Brains Pack 3, and you know whenever it's announced for the US, people are going to go get playsets. Already we have Artifact Scythe and Lancia like in the metagame along with Sanctum. So when you have talk of a Link coming out that's really good support for them, you're gonna see this eventually get its round of buyout. So you could really get into your penny stocks here with Artifact Scythe and get some bonus bucks back today. But a lot of people have been asking me what I think are good like cards to get sooner than later. Curious only has one printing. I talked about this on my Patreon. Sometimes I talk about cards earlier over there. It only has its one printing, and it saw more play last format in Orkest where people were Griffin comboing off, and I think we could see it get to the point where we get the Griffin combo again and see people like really pushing that. So I think Curious, look at how many quantities TCG Lowest has. It's pretty crazy, but I think that when we look over at eBay, you have a couple sellers selling 3 at a time before it does quickly go up. This only has its one printing, and it's a super rare that missed the Megatons that has an exceptional effect. Now, it's not easy like Lavalval Chain, but it's something to eye, something to hold on to, and something to consider moving forward if we're talking penny stocks. Also, for Strix, the ultra rare is under $5, and you have the secret a bit above. I would always go max rarity when talking a card like this, but we know that there's a Raid Raptor link somewhere in the rafters, and I really think that this is a card you want to hold on to. It already impresses itself in the metagame within Luna Lights right now, and you know there's just going to be this bubbling hype when the Link Monster actually announces that it's coming to the TCG. This is something I wouldn't sleep on. This is definitely something I would want to have access to, period, be it in lowest rarity or highest rarity. But if we're talking about what will rise the most, probably the secret rare, as metagame players are already using that in Luna Lights. Also, here's a real interesting move that mixes in with ban list talk. So many people are asking for super polymerization to be back on the F and L list at a quantity lower than 3. But it's really within the metagame as a check and balance to Darks, because Dark is one of the best attributes, period, and they have fusions that counter Darks. I think it's pretty eyebrow raising to see this starting to run out of quantities from a guaranteed set on market. This is crazy, and the price is going up as those quantities move out, if you might notice. Like, we're talking a 10% increase here. It's not the biggest deal. The jokes of Market Watch, it raised 50 cents. What's good YouTube? But seriously, the quantities are what matters most here. And with only 23 sellers here, and it's starting to similarly go up above that $5 mark on eBay, well, this is kind of that perfect disaster of people are grabbing 3 of these. It's running off the market. Then they're going to go for the other versions that are cheaper, like the super rare is pretty cheap right now. Then they disappear. This is something that almost every player wants access to 3 of when they play multiple decks. They don't want to have to swap them out. It's just $15 right now for another set for another deck. These are going to run out eventually, and people will start tearing open Dual Devastators for them at some point that they've been holding on to, trying to sell. But I still think you want to do the big brain consider that this eventually has the most upward ceiling in Dual Devastator in terms of going up in actual price. Now, in terms of percentages, you have Ghost Ogre, you have a lot of great calls within the set. I don't know that necessarily Super Poly's it, but I do think it has the highest ceiling to go up because people are grabbing playsets of this faster than any other card out of there. And Ash Blossom atop the set as well. I think there's just so many different versions of Ash, including the common from the structure deck, that hold it back versus us needing more recent printings of super polymerization. Ash has been printed how many times in the past 2 years versus super poly how many times in the past 2 years. This wraps back around to the beginning of Market Watch. Dengirsu is kind of close to its ultra rare price still, but I just wanted to note how popular Orkest is. Galatea is passing the Falling Thunder Dragon Colossus. We see time and time again 50% of our top cut is Orkest. There's the Looming No Sooner Than in January, yet these are slowly rising, slowly going up, and consistently maintaining value. I think Orkest is still probably going to dodge the list upcoming, but your speculation, like whenever you're talking any ban list, it's speculation within market prices. I still just have a feeling, even though Konami's done selling it, it's going to dodge a ban list, and I think that people that are holding on to these are relatively safe, but you're still putting in extra money towards something that could be hit, so do be aware of that. it's kind of a coin flip on this one, in my opinion. And finally, Crunchyroll. Yeah, we're off of TCGPlayer all of a sudden, and non-sponsored. They have the Alexis Rhodes figure at 146. This is actually cheaper than anywhere when you get the free shipping from them, because whenever you buy over a certain amount, you get free shipping. So if you have a Crunchyroll account, you also get a small discount on that, like 5%, and it turns out to be 150 shipped. Whenever we talk figures, I don't know that this one's going to go up, but it is a waifu, and it was #1 on Ami Ami. It's the first time I've ever seen a Yu-Gi-Oh figure on Ami Ami actually maintain a #1 spot in terms of viewership. So if you've been looking for this figure, if you're wondering where to order it, Crunchyroll is now the cheapest and probably safest place to order this for yourself. Very interesting kind of turn of events there. But let me know what you thought of today's Market Watch. Get to the cards on there. I put the figure at the end. Are you happy, guys? Remember, there is the sale today, so please use that TCGPlayer link in the description down below. It truly does help the channel. I'm going to keep giving you guys super awesome giveaways as long as you're using that link every single month. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy the conversation. And yeah, also do remember to hedge your bankroll versus Black Friday. I know my sponsors, they don't want me to say that, but I always look out for you guys.